Good morning, America, and welcome to the Eric and Rodney Show with Robin. Hey, guys. So today we have some very interesting topics to go over. We're talking about foreign-born U.S. labor. We're talking about the government buying your personal data off Facebook. And lastly, how you can now get a full-time job watching TikTok all day. We also have our very first esteemed guest today. Everyone, please welcome Matt Peterson.
Good morning, everyone.
Yes.
Welcome, Matt. Welcome.
Thank you.
So Matt is actually our first guest, and Matt is a good friend of mine. He works for a company you may or may not have heard of called America's Back Office, and he's a great guy, knows a lot about PO and small business and sales and just a bunch of stuff. And we brought him on today to hash it up with us. Welcome, Matt.
Thank you, Rodney.
All right, Robin, what's going on? What do you got for us?
All right, so let's dive into our first topic. Did you know that now 20% of U.S. labor is foreign-born? That's 30 million people in America.
Which begs the question, what the fuck are Americans doing? Like only 80% of us are working?
It's actually quite comparable to the Middle East. And not to be racist or anything, but Arabs, they don't like working. They like management positions and trading. So almost all of the labor work is from Africa and Asia. It's quite similar.
Are you saying that 80%? Well, we don't know the statistics over there, do we?
Do we know the statistics? Do we have the internet?
No, we don't.
We don't have the internet, or we don't know the statistics.
It's been going on for 1,000 years for sure.
Well, part of what the article said too is it sort of justifies the level of immigration that we need, because I think there is a labor shortage, right? Foreign-born workers are obviously anxious to work, so I think the thing with the borders, I mean it's a multi it's a complicated issue, but the whole thing about the crisis at border, the idea is that people want to come over here and not work, get into the system, but it's obviously not true based on the numbers, right?
No.
It sounds like it's not true.
Yeah, so I think from my experience, we work with a lot of fintech companies, highly technical companies in our business, and a lot of the labor that they're bringing over is high tech business. I mean, it's high tech individuals, high technical skills. We're talking about medical field, we're talking about fintech, we're talking about a lot of different programmers, etc. They're bringing them over on visas because they're filling a void in the workforce, right? There's just not the experience that's out there, and they're out there. Those people are coming over here for better opportunities, but also because there's definitely a labor need. There's a need for these companies to have these highly technical people.
That's right. Yeah, I agree with what Matt said. I think there's a significant amount of talent. I know even with us, like projects we work on, all of our talents mostly most of it's not stateside.
Isn't it nice to know that despite the fact that there's a mass shooting every day, people want to come in and work here? I mean, that says a lot about the United States, I think. How great of a country, despite the fact that everyone's walking around with an AR-15.
It's probably access to free health insurance. No, wait, we don't have that.
No, we don't have that. Well, it's probably the free education then.
No,
we don't have that either.
Free education.
Yeah, right.
All we have is guns and jobs. Oh, God bless America.
And high wages. I think that's the other piece of it, right?
That's true.
Guns and earnings. That's what we got. So yeah, I'm outside Chicago. So, that's a specific thing for me, right?
What's that?
Guns and money.
Being outside Chicago, I live outside Chicago, so that's certainly one of the hot topics here. Yeah. Yep.
Sure. Yeah. All right. What's the TikTok? Is that the second big story we're covering here today?
Let's do the Facebook one first.
Okay. I feel very passionately about this Facebook issue.
Wait, it's Facebook?
Let's see.
Facebook's in the news?
Oh, yeah, I've never heard of that. Yeah.
So this isn't new news, but if you guys are familiar with the tech company Meta, it's the big tech company that owns Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp,
That's right.
all the social media outlets. So they were fined $1.3 billion rather.
Billion. Yeah.
For sending Facebook user data to the US. So It's not really shocking news. We also recently had that Mark Zuckerberg hearing in Washington. You guys remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
It was a couple years
Yes.
I'm confused about this because so we use Facebook. It's a free service. We put all our information on there. We put pictures of our kids, pictures of our houses, tell people where they work. We found lost loves. It's led to divorces. We can stalk people. And then you have an expectation of privacy. Like, come on. You know
well,
what
and you can also buy things at Marketplace. Let's not forget.
You can do everything for goddamn free, and all they ask in return is to sell your information so they can show you ads. And then we cry about it. It's unbelievable. This is what they should do. They should have a $100 private Facebook and see how many people don't pay for that. Because no one's going to. We just like to get upset that they're selling us. Like, it's so goddamn stupid. And the thing too, like Facebook gives a shit about you. They just want to sell you stuff. You know what I mean? You're not doing anything interesting. My privacy. Fuck off. Like, you're putting all your shit on there.
Yeah, if you want privacy, I don't know if social media is where you need to where you should start your journey, right?
I would venture to say that's not a good idea.
You can sign into almost any retail site with your Facebook ID. That should tell you something right there, right? So, I mean, your credentials with Facebook. I mean, they're tracking all of that. This is about data aggregation and sales. That's what we're talking about here, right?
That's exactly right.
Big surprise. I think it's interesting with the Meta thing with Europe is because they have such different standards. They're not alone there. Those fines are coming out of Europe. Yeah. Like they just saw somebody got nicked. I think it was Apple got nicked the other day too. They're looking at finding them for data mismanagement or because it's a different litmus there. Here in America, you can sell data all day long, aggregate it and sell it. Europe, there's a different standard there. Yep.
Yeah, the United States is a Wild West. You couldn't be the king of spam in the EU.
No, you couldn't be. You couldn't be.
MailChimp wouldn't survive.
No, MailChimp wouldn't make it 15 minutes. Those animals.
No, but who gives a shit? Like, why are people so upset about emails they didn't sign up for or ads they didn't ask to see? Then get off the internet. Like, what are you doing here? You know what I mean? I just
it is.
Why are we so upset? It seems like they give an awful lot, and all they ask in return is to show me Viagra, which is fine. Show whatever.
I think some of the high points of my week are when I'm doing my email campaigning, getting some of the responses from people is it's hysterical. You can just unsubscribe. Instead, you have to write a 25-minute diatribe about why you shouldn't be receiving this email.
Yeah.
Unsubscribe. Move on. Let's get on with our lives.
I always, what I always feel like now we're talking about that. I always feel like when you get a crazy response, I always ask myself, what is, whatever their name is, what are they going through? Because like you have to ask yourself, right? Like I get a ton of emails and I've never once said to myself, I'm going to let this person know how it goes. Like no one cares. We don't you just laugh at them. It's funny when people first start doing email, they're like, John Smith wrote me back and said, go jump in the lake. What do I do? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. But at the stage of our career now, when you get an email and somebody says something like that, you're like, it's Tuesday, right? I mean, out of here. But I
used to write emails for a bonsai tree e-commerce site, and we'd always run Mother's Day and Father's Day sales. And every year I'd send it, and I get 10 people going, my mother's dead. I'm like, well, don't buy our bonsai tree. I don't know.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so this isn't for you. I didn't know it. I'm sorry, but maybe just delete it.
Yeah. Well, you know what the problem was is you didn't have enough data. That's
right.
Right. Yeah.
There was no filter that said whether or not the parents were alive.
So you don't want us to get the data, but now you're using it, and now it's wrong. I see.
Yeah. If
I didn't scrape carefully enough, right? Exactly.
That was the issue. Yeah. I think it's because we like to wallow in victimhood. And since none of us are really victims these days, like emails we didn't sign up for is the big thing we have to be concerned about. Or ads we don't want to. Oh my God, how terrible.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I think some people feel like their email is you're knocking on their door. And that's not the way it is anymore. And I think that the culture is shifting. I think some people just lag behind like everything else, right? Yeah. And I think that's pretty topical now, especially. The more that this data gets scraped and sold and it just keeps ramping up and people are just going to continue to kind of have to shift with the culture. Yeah. That's how we market now.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, though. They're not buying our social security numbers and signing up for like banking, right? They just want to sell us shit, right?
They just want to sell us stuff. Yeah.
Right. It's no more nefarious than that, right? They just want to know what we like.
They just
No,
they just want to get Robin a cooler.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
They just want to sell Robin a cooler for the summer.
There you go.
Well, yeah. They know he's going to be homeless soon because of the typhoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Umbrella ads are going to hit you today.
Yeah, you're gonna get the umbrella ads. That's right.
Funny story. It's not just Facebook that's doing this. It's like the entirety of my iPhone. I was at a candle shop last weekend with my girlfriend, and I spent like a good hour there just smelling scented candles and seeing if like, oh, would this fit in my new apartment?
Yeah.
I get home and the next day I have like 10 ads on Facebook for scented candles, and I've never searched anything about scented candles on my phone. So
It's
they're
look,
listening.
as I think that probably happens, but I'm in marketing and I don't know that tool. Can I get that tool? Can I follow you around?
Yeah.
What's the what's the fee? You know what? I am willing to license it.
I know a guy that works on that, right? You walk to the store of a door and it's picking up your it's picking up who you are, it's picking up your phone, and it's
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's picking up the data. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's about the tracking and so forth. It's way too advanced, right? We're just trying to put something in an email, but yeah.
Robin, I didn't hear you. I thought when you said candle store, I thought you said cannibal store. I was like, wow, the Philippines.
Wow.
it's
It's a wild time in the Philippines.
How liberal you guys are. Just human
Wild
beings.
West over here.
Okay, so candle store makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Right, so
Thank
we're
God.
all are we all in agreement that this is stupid? What are we crying about? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And the third news story is what now? Oh yeah, I hate this one too.
So yeah, some people like it, some people don't. But you can now get paid $100 to watch TikTok for 10 hours a day. So
Wait, $100 a day or $100 an hour?
An hour, up to 10 hours.
for 10 hours. So it's a marketing agency that is looking to pay people to help them gauge emerging trends online. So some people hate TikTok, myself included. Some people can't seem to get rid of it. What is your opinion on it? I know Eric hates TikTok.
Here's the thing, you wait till you're 16 to get your driver's license. That's exciting. And then you wait till 21 so you can drink, and that's exciting. I was waiting for a social media platform to come out that I didn't give a fuck about, and finally TikTok. So it finally
came out.
Yeah, right. I am too. I've aged out of the system. I don't care anymore. Nothing interests me, and I feel like I have the moral high ground here because
so you have TikTok.
It's boring. I don't understand the
But
appeal.
you have it.
I deleted it. I wanted to like it, kind of, but this is organic. This is me maturing and getting middle-aged and
That's
angry
funny.
at things now. But I don't understand the appeal, which is ironic because I don't get images on video, and then we're doing this. But I think this is way better. Anyway, go ahead.
No, I mean, there's people that are obsessed with TikTok. They just are, and we all have friends. We all have some friends that are, and everything they send you is a TikTok link. You get like 10 TikTok links in 6 hours. You're like, get a job or something. I'm not really sure what you're doing all day.
Yeah,
but
what's happening?
I mean, I view this $100 for 10 hours. This is a business opportunity. There's got to be some people you can hire to do that, and you can just kind of call them or get create bots and stuff, and just take advantage of the situation. Right? There's got to be an opportunity here.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. Like, I think TikTok's. I don't want it banned or anything. I don't give a shit. I don't understand why people are banned. Like Nebraska, is that the state?
I think it was Montana.
Montana,
yeah.
Why are states banning TikTok? Why is this?
I got to be honest with everyone on here. I've never used TikTok, but here's what I would say: if they would pay us $100 an hour, Robin, let's get that information down. We'll set up 15 monitors. I'll have this going. We'll have this running by the end of the day, guys.
Rodney, you and I are thinking the same way, right? Make $1 million.
And you know what? Here's the first ad. Are you interested in making $25 an hour watching TikTok?
Well,
build your empire on this whole premise.
Yeah, it's interesting actually that you brought that up, Eric, because censorship for TikTok is actually a thing. So you know how TikTok is owned by a Chinese company and it's made in China?
Yeah.
Right.
It's actually banned in China to use TikTok. TikTok doesn't exist in China.
What?
It's shocking, right? You didn't know that?
No,
I had no idea. This is news to me.
I'm not up on Chinese social media, but so why is it banned?
The only group that or the only country that can't set tone the settings down on TikTok, it's wide open, right? They can't like bring it down into content, and that's kind of interesting. That's, I mean, we talked about this before. US being the Wild West, we just don't have any settings to control it. It's just out there for everybody to grab and use. And is that? I mean, I can't see the damage it's doing other than maybe some, social cultural stuff. Who knows, right?
Yeah, I think it's destroying the children, but like, there's a million things that destroy the children, and nobody seems particularly interested in changing any of those things.
Now there's some competition in destroying the children. First it was the video games and the music. Now it's the social apps.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure, Call of Duty was good for the kids to begin with, right?
You know what it is? All those banned books. Those goddamn kids keep reading 1984, and they're, you know what I mean? Yeah, they love the banned, but kids love reading. That's why we're gonna ban books.
So you guys are gonna get a kick out of this, but there is a theory circulating the internet that TikTok was actually created with the effort of the Chinese government. So they manipulate the algorithms to brainwash the youth of other countries, which is why they ban it in China, because it's brainwash.
What? So all I've seen on TikTok is like people cooking stupid fucking recipes, chicks dancing around in bikinis. What is the brainwashing that's going on here? People
that's the brainwash. That's the brainwashing.
It's very subtle. You're a victim already.
Oh, I don't even know.
You're already indoctrinated. You're already.
God damn it! Oh, shit.
Yeah, they've gotten you. They're already inside. They're already inside your brain.
I have been eating a lot of Chinese food lately too, so maybe that's subversive. I just don't understand.
Well, let me ask you a question, Robin. Is Facebook banned in China? Are all social media banned in China?
No. So Facebook is banned in China. You can't use Facebook in China. But there are other forms of social media in China that are heavily state monitored.
I see.
So like TikTok actually has a sister app called Douyin. It's technically TikTok, but it's heavily censored. The government has complete control of what people are seeing, and it's more used as like a streaming app to get people to buy stuff online, which is strange because here you have China, which is supposed to be a communist country, but seems like it's very capitalist.
Yes, you know what? I oddly enough, right? I hate to break it to you, Robin, because you're much younger than I am, but oddly enough, you will learn. Everyone loves money.
Ah, yes.
It is. It took me years. Literally, I found this out last year, but everybody loves money. It's who knew? Yeah.
Do we know why Montana banned TikTok? I mean, I should probably have looked into it.
Actually, I was going to say something actually interesting that you brought up while we're researching that, is that if you think about it, every social platform has a competitor, right? And I'm serious, except for LinkedIn.
That's true.
There's no competitor to LinkedIn.
No. All the business dorks are in one place. It's right.
Not that I'm trying to create one. I'm just trying to illustrate, right?
You know what we should do?
Create a LinkedIn. Yeah, that's it.
A competitor, right?
Here, I have the answer to your question. To protect Montana's personal and private data from the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, the governor has banned TikTok.
If the Chinese Communist Party thinks that they have something I want to buy, I want to see it. So you can have my data. I don't give a shit. What are they going to do?
Well, I don't know. Who knows?
I don't like it. All right. Well, I guess that concludes the news portion of the show. We really nailed it. I think what's great about this is we're experts in all these subjects, so our opinions matter.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right. Now we got Matt Peterson. This is the interview portion. So
I feel stressed out right now.
Oh no.
I'm pretty stressed out about it too.
Is he hooked up to the lie detector? Do we have him? Is he strapped?
Yeah, right. Exactly. The hard-hitting questions.
Yeah, well, Robin has prepared a series of hard-hitting questions.
Yeah, he has.
Okay. All right, ready?
Robin, remember, hit him with the evidence first. I'm joking. That's our buddy. I'm kidding. He's our buddy.
Okay.
All right. So we have Rodney Steele and Matt Peterson, who are obviously two very big faces in PO. So my first question, and Rodney can also chime in about this, is what is something about the PO industry? And for people that don't know what PO is, it's Professional Employer Organization. what is it about that industry that has surprised you lately?
Do you want me to take that, or you want to take it?
Yeah,
Ryan?
so you can take it, Matt.
Yeah. So I, there's been a lot of consolidation in our industry, right? There's private equity jumping in, there's venture capital jumping in, and there's it's consolidating. There's been a lot of consolidation. So around that, there's been decisions made to outsource service and do those kinds of things. And I think what I'm surprised about is the reaction to that by the customers. So what we're finding, because I'm deeply involved in selling PEO, I'm finding that the clients that are participating with companies that are outsourcing their centers, their customer service centers, there's more dissatisfaction with that than I had anticipated. Right? PEO is an outsourcing solution to begin with, and I just find that the clients are very unhappy with the service platforms around the outsourced service aspect.
Now, Matt, you mean Matt? Let me just intervene here. Now, when you say that, you're talking about so people understand, right? You're obviously PEO is outsourced, but then you're saying the PEO is an outsourcing
the customer service
to someone else. Yeah,
correct. And
right.
they're offshore or doing something else.
So they're removed from it.
Yeah, and it creates a schism within the service delivery model, and it's really impacting the customers. And I was surprised by that because the trend to offshore and outsource is happening across all industries, right? It's happening everywhere.
Sure.
And what I was surprised about was how that impacted the customers of the PEOs, because we're winning a lot of business from those companies that are are outsourcing that service component.
And I bet they're outsourcing it to foreign-born workers, right? You know why? Americans don't want to work. Only 80% of us want to work.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean,
what do you think of that, Rod? You're in the industry. What do you think?
I would agree with what you say. With what you said, I think a lot of people are outsourcing their stuff. I also would say from my angle, right? Because we're on the broker side. It is amazing how many brokers there are now. And I would say the other thing that amazes me, right? And I don't mean this. This isn't directed at anyone in particular. Is how many people have absolutely no idea what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I truly believe in order to be able to do this, obviously, I think you agree with me. In order to be able to do this at my level, you have to have worked at a PO. If you haven't, what? How can you do this, right? It's like me being a mechanic and I don't know how to work on a car. It's insanity.
Right.
Yeah. So that I would say from my side that, but I would say from your side, from the PO side, yeah, I would say the outsourcing is bizarre, troubling, and people don't like it yet.
Yeah.
Right. So with that, I actually have the perfect second question after that one. And I know Rodney can relate to this. What's something you wish people understood more about in your job and industry? I know a lot of people still think PO is basically insurance.
I think Rodney and I come at this from two different places, right? Rodney what Rodney does is a little different. I'm more in the trenches with it. I think for me, and I'll speak about sales. When you say people, I'll talk about internally with the PEOs just because I think it's important. In our business, new business is critical. The sales end of the sales end of things, it's really important to develop a constant pipeline of new sales generation. Most businesses are like that. What I find in our industry is our sales reps, they don't spend the time developing the right prospects. They spend a lot of time prospecting, but they don't spend the time developing the right prospects. So when they're spending their time, and our sales cycle is pretty long, so your year can be made, in 3 months if you're doing it right. Your year can be blown in 3 months if you're doing it wrong. And I think what I find is most of the sales guys that I know that are successful spend time surfacing people that they can actually help versus trying to touch as many people as they can, because a lot of those people either aren't interested in the help that you can provide, or they're just beyond, they're just not a good fit for the solution. So, for me, I think, spending your time developing the right prospects makes you successful. And I would like to see more of that being trained into the salespeople. That's what I think my industry can do differently.
I think you nailed it from your standpoint. I think you nailed it. Yeah, from your side. I would say, just to add to that from my side, I would say I wouldn't say it's much different. I think that a lot of people are in PEO just assume that if somebody is a business, they should be in a PEO. And I think you have to market to the right people, right? If people aren't interested in it, or they don't understand it, or they don't get it, they probably aren't a good fit. Keep moving.
Yeah, I think it's like the stat is like somewhere between 12 to 18% of the companies in the country work with a PEO.
Yeah,
that's a pretty small segment of the business, and there's a reason for that, right?
Yeah, it is.
Not because they all haven't received an email about PEO.
That's right. Yeah, I can assure you they have received one.
People. But it's the PEO solution fits really nicely with a lot of companies, but it doesn't fit really nicely for all companies.
Yeah, that's true. And the other thing I would say too, I agree with you. One thing I think that's nice about what you guys do, and we obviously don't run into this problem very often, but a lot of times people will come to us and say, I want to go with this PO, or I want to do this or that. And it's like, it's happened to us a few times. And they'll say, I want to go with this PO. And then we go, we'll go out to market to get quotes. And then we'll come back and, and they're like, well, why didn't you quote such and such? And we're like, actually they declined you. So, I don't know. Why did they decline us? I have no idea. They're not going to tell us. But yeah, I think one of the problems that people, when they do it on their own, is trying to figure out who makes sense and who doesn't, right? And it's a little bit of a dance, if you will, to try to figure out who makes sense and who doesn't. And then in the end, if they don't make sense, you've wasted all that time.
Right. And time's a killer, right? We all know that, right? Your year is made by spending your time on the prospects you can close, not time on the prospects that you're trying to convince that they need your service when they just don't believe that they do.
Yeah, that's true.
Excuse me.
I like the beat in the background.
No, it's the construction. Yeah, we're building the new studio for the show. We're going to house the show here on site. I'm sorry. We're having construction done.
Oh, it sounds good.
Sorry, everyone.
Somebody's learning the drums in the background. Yeah.
Yeah, I usually use the bongo drums.
My favorite song. All right, what else do we got? What's the next PEO-centric question? I think so. What percentage of companies use PEOs?
The statistics vary, but it's 12 to 18%.
After this episode, we're getting the rest of them. I can feel it.
That's it.
Every one of them.
Jumps to 50 automatically.
I know. Listen, I know the kind of poll we have here on.
That's right.
In live. All right, Robin. Next question. What do we got?
What do we have, Robin?
Second to the last question. What's one initiative on your whiteboard that wasn't there 30 days ago?
So I'm going to go back to the first question, and this is for me anyway. My initiative is selling up market deals, right? Everybody wants the whales, but I think with the trend in the service center outsourcing, what we wind up with is really, really good opportunities to sell up market. So when you talk about larger opportunities, I think what is resonating with me, with the prospects that I'm talking to, and they're getting larger and larger because they're dissatisfied with the service platform. And that allows mid-sized companies, mid-sized PEOs, not big publicly traded, but mid-sized PEOs, to go in there and really show what they can do on the service side to win business. So I think that's something that is on my whiteboard for the second half of this year.
Yeah. You want me to answer this as well?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so I would say doing this show. Right? Wasn't this an initiative? Right? 30 days. Actually, no. You know what's funny? I came back from vacation, and me and Eric were talking one day, and we said, "Let's do a show."
Yeah. The PEO.
And he informed me that LinkedIn Live was a thing. I didn't even know it was real. I didn't even know it was a thing. Here we are. I know it was real.
Things move fast.
Yep.
Yeah, things move fast, right?
Yep.
All right, Robin, what do you got? Question number 4.
Okay, so the last question of today, not really PO related, actually, to steer away from
It's all
PO.
right.
If you were not working in PO and you had to do it all over again, what would you do instead?
I'd be a boat captain.
Boat captain.
Nice.
Like it.
Yeah,
Like it.
drive around the ocean, take people around. I'd be a boat captain.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you don't want to fish. You just want to take people like.
No, I just want to drive the boat. I'm not
Yeah, I
interested.
think he wants to drive the boat. I think he's interested in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you.
No, all the cool kids are doing.
They are doing all. Yeah, that's right. They are. They've all come over to the dark
I just
side.
want to wear the hat, actually. That's all. I just want to wear the.
So if we get you the hat, you know what? Here's what we're going to refer to Matt as from now on: the captain. El Capitan.
Okay, there you go. There you
I
go.
like it.
I think all the kids are jumping off TikTok and coming over to LinkedIn Live. I mean, that's
There
the
you
natural
should.
progression of
They
things,
should.
right?
Well, at some point they're going to have to get on LinkedIn, right? Because you got to get a job.
Well, you got to grow up eventually, don't you?
That's
Don't you
right,
have to come
yeah.
on over to LinkedIn?
That's very true.
I think the nice thing about LinkedIn is it's a black hole of creativity. So anything that you do.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that's a good question. Okay, so let's explore this boat captain thing. What body of water are you?
Body of water doesn't really matter. It could be a bathtub. Doesn't matter to me. I don't care.
I get seasick in the shower, so that your dream doesn't appeal to me. But I've understood boat people are they're a subculture. Do you have a boat now?
No, but I'm looking to buy one.
Okay. It's weird down there at the docks. A lot of weird shit goes on. Are you aware of this?
I have not spent a lot of time at the docks. Maybe I should check that out.
It's a subset of people like Disney adults, but not. They're seedier. They drink a lot.
Is
Down
that
there.
kind of a tongue-in-cheek hint to go down to the docks and hang out?
Yeah, it's weird. I'm not a boat person either, but I've been around them. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rodney, are you a boat person?
I am not. I do have a couple of friends that have boats, and I enjoy going on them. But I always thought boat meant was an acronym for break out another 1,000. Well, and two, I live in New York, right? And I guess this is kind of with you too, Matt. But I live in New York, where we get maybe 3 months out of the year where it's not, freezing cold
Miserable.
or cold.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
miserable, I should say. I mean, you're in Chicago, so I guess.
Yeah.
Oh,
Got a
that
big
limits you
lake
for
here.
bodies of water too. Chicago.
Yeah.
Do you want to answer the hard-hitting questions that I think are really telling about an individual over the sound of the drum
Over the
beats?
sounds of contracting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to answer questions about your musical tastes? This is always a big controversial topic.
Yeah. We like these. These are the real questions, man. These
I
is
gotcha.
where we really get
These
to
are-
you.
these are
Yeah,
hard-hitting.
these are the hard ones.
All right. So you're trapped on a desert island. You get to bring the complete catalogs of 5 separate musical bands / artists. Who are they? 5 for all of eternity.
All right. I'm gonna just throw it out there in random order. I would bring Greta Van Fleet.
I love Greta Van Fleet. So
Yeah,
you're not doing
good
Led
choice.
Zeppelin, you're
Good
going
choice.
Greta Van Fleet.
Yeah, I think I would have to bring from Fleetwood Mac just because they're out there.
Fleetwood Mac's amazing. Amazing.
I think I would have to go with Pearl Jam, of course.
Yeah, naturally.
Pearl Jam's amazing.
My age. Some Smashing Pumpkins.
Mhm.
Again, my age.
Very good.
Yeah, so is that 3? 4.
That's 4. You got Greta Van Fleet, Fleetwood Mac.
One more.
Yeah, one more.
The pressure. Because I live in the north, I'm gonna have to go with I'm drawing a blank on this one, so I'm just gonna go with Led Zeppelin.
Wow, so you're doing Led Zeppelin and
That's
Baby Led Zeppelin.
Eric's group, right, Eric?
What's
Eric
the up and
Zeppelin?
down of it?
I think Led Zeppelin is the greatest rock band of all time. They're not on my
Mhm.
list, but I don't think it's an arguable point. Whereas Robin and Rodney think it's the Beatles and the Stones, respectively.
Robin thinks it's the Beatles. I think it's the Stones because the Stones are still touring.
No,
Right.
I mean, that's
Beatles.
right.
I mean,
Touring,
right.
but
yeah. I mean,
Mick Jagger's like 80 years old now. He's almost
Yeah,
as old
exactly.
as Biden.
Don't
Yeah.
the Beatles get a pass on that? 'Cause all of them are dead.
maybe he should be the president.
Yeah, right. Who knows, right?
Jumping Jack Black.
How old of a fella are you, Matt?
I'm 54.
54. So Pearl Jam and Smashing Pumpkins came out when you were like in your mid-20s, right?
Yeah, early 20s, probably. Yep.
That's a magical time when you're listening to music, ain't it? Mm-hmm.
Those stick with you, right?
Middle school through the mid-20s, and then you just stop listening to music. Although Greta Van Fleet is new-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got kids that are in college, so
Yeah.
I get my fair share of new music. A lot of country music now. Kids like the country music now.
They do.
A lot of that, the blended rock stuff. So it's actually pretty good stuff.
Robin, have you ever heard of country music? Do you know any country tunes?
A couple, but probably like really old ones. I'm not familiar with any of the
Not a
new
big
ones.
country scene in the Philippines?
No.
Okay. Well,
not.
I got another reason to move to the Philippines.
$1 billion idea. A country western store in the Philippines.
Right next to the cannibal store.
That right? Yeah.
Yeah.
The candle store kind of the sense of the candle store, protects that cannibal store. That's right.
Modern pop country is proof that there's no God. That shit is unlistenable, and everyone likes it. It's oh God.
Hey, I'm just asking because I'm not cultured. But like,
That's all right.
for you guys, asking Americans, who's the biggest? Is there like an undisputed king of country music?
Well, there's a few.
No, but is it?
They're all related to each other.
I would say there's Garth Brooks, George Strait, and Hank Williams. And Hank Williams Jr. are like the guys,
Yeah. And then you've got all the new guys on the scene that are kind of doing throwback stuff, Coulter Wall, and some of these other guys are doing kind of throwback country, the old guys.
Yeah.
And then you've got this guy. You guys ever heard of Hardy?
No.
He's kind of rock country kind of thing.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So he's kind of this rock country guy.
All
Interesting.
right, Hootie from Hootie and the Blowfish is a
Yeah, he sings.
He's a country guy. Yeah, he went back. Yep.
You have Zach Brown. He's pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
I can't
Robin.
think of
Don't
them
do it.
all.
Don't listen.
You're not having it.
Robin's going to be listening to it later tonight. I know it.
You're gonna have to send a feed to him. Yeah,
I'll
exactly.
try.
Get out
If
there.
the Chinese were behind modern pop country, I'd be more upset at them. But all they're doing is stealing our data, so I have no problem.
I'm going to give you a Spotify channel when we're done here so you can go check it out.
Yeah, you'll love it.
We'll get you tuned in.
We'll get you indoctrinated.
Well, I like that you like it, but you didn't include any of it on your desert
No,
island.
no. Well, we want Robin
it's
to
not my
listen to it.
favorite. It's not my favorite.
Yeah, we didn't say we liked it. We just said we knew about it. Yeah.
Okay. In the question, the part two of this question is, what's the one band that you hate the most?
Steely Dan.
Oh, Steely Dan, really?
Hands down.
I thought he was going to
We'll
say.
think
I thought
about
he was
that.
going to say mid-century country. I'm joking.
I don't even need to think about that.
Steely Dan, yeah, they've never appeared on the hate.
So-
Actually, never appeared on.
So
the
here's the interesting thing. I actually like Steely Dan, but hold on. Let me preface it, right? I like it because it has a certain, like some of the songs, not all of them, but some of them have like a certain rhythm when you're rowing. I know
Okay.
it sounds weird, but I like to row. But the music, it's not a huge fan. But my wife hates if I put it on or like it plays in a playlist. She's like, "Oh no, please."
I get itchy. I'm like, we got to take that off. I got to get rid of
Yeah.
this. I can't stand it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're funny.
I've never heard Steely Dan, but what's so bad about it?
Well,
Is
give
it-
it a listen, and then you can deduce.
Yeah, I don't want to sing any Steely Dan songs because I'll probably get hives, but the lyrics are just unbelievable. They're unbelievable.
Well, the other thing is too, right? And I'll just say this: is that you'll be listening to it, and it's like they're just playing the drums, and then you'll hear like a saxophone come in for like a 10-minute sax solo, and you're like, "What the hell's happening here?" Right?
Okay.
It's just misplaced instruments and stuff.
It's like fusion jazz. It rubs me
Right.
the wrong way that same way, right?
Okay.
Do you know they're
right.
named after a vibrator? Are you aware of that?
It makes
Yeah.
sense.
Steely Dan. Yeah, it's like Steely Dan is a vibrator, like Tropical Cancer or something. What was some classic novel?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Vibrators. As most of them
Yikes.
do, by the way. Okay, the second question. I feel bad because you're doing this on the spot. Usually we prep the guests and show notes. We should
Thanks,
do-
Robin. Thank you, Robin. See how organized Robin is?
Okay, ready?
I
Pay
didn't know
attention
that.
here because it's a multi-parter. So you're
Oh,
on
yeah.
death row. What's your last meal? And this is what you get. You get an appetizer, 2 main courses because we're about to kill you. You get whatever sides you want, a dessert, and a drink. right, so an appetizer, 2 mains, whatever sides you want, a dessert and a drink.
All right. So my favorite, I'm in Chicago. My favorite restaurant's Gibson's Steakhouse.
Yeah.
So I'd have to go with the New York Strip for one of the entrees, and then my
See,
second.
Robin, cut matters here.
See?
Okay. Yeah, I'm just uncultured and I haven't been to the States. So
Hugely
So
important.
Robin's last meal, he's just having pan-fried steak, and we don't know what the color
That's
is.
it.
It hasn't been marinated. There's no sauce.
The meat is indeterminate. You don't get to choose the meat. They just cook a steak, right?
Yeah.
that's true.
That's true.
Right. Yeah. So it would be for me. It'd be the whole Gibson's thing. The chocolate cake for the dessert. The drink would have to be a bourbon.
There you go. Oh yeah.
I told you this guy. He's good. He's good. We love bourbon
Yeah,
here.
it's like Ron Swanson. I'll have the Ron Swanson special from
Yes.
Parks and Rec. You ever see that? Yeah.
Yeah, that
That'd be
show's
my last
great.
meal.
That's
Yeah.
one of the best shows of all time. I don't want to go on the tangent, but that is a great show. Sorry.
He's a big breakfast guy, isn't he, Ron Swanson?
Yeah, right. Just bacon and eggs, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
he has a new show now where he does things. It's good.
That guy, that actor is from Joliet, which is outside Chicago. So that's kind of like one of the.
Oh, yeah.
Chicago's got a ton of steakhouses, just like Kansas City, just like everywhere else. But that Gibson's is really good. And there's pan-fried steak.
Well, that was
yeah.
Robin.
And
yeah,
and-
well, it's already my favorite, so it just means that I'm gonna like it even more.
well, here's the best part. And Robin actually never died. That's the caveat. And here's why: is because it was a buffet of steak.
Right, and yeah, all you can eat. So there's no end game.
Yeah, so there's no end game.
Loophole. What are you doing for the dessert? The appetizer before the steak.
Oh,
The appetizer. I'm a crab cake guy.
Oh,
I
crap.
like crab cakes. Yeah, crab cakes.
I like crab cakes. My wife loves crab cakes. So come to think of it.
Yeah.
I know you guys wanted to know that, so I wanted to share with you.
I like your wife loves crab cakes. Hates
Yeah,
steak.
write that down. Write it down.
We're learning a lot about your wife. And
Like,
so
she's
with the
here.
she's up in the bathroom banging shit with hammers.
She's the one that's actually working in there right now, right?
Naturally, yeah.
She's cleaning my bathroom. I'm joking.
What? So on the strip, are you doing a sauce? Are you doing an au jus? Some sort of creamy thing, a compound butter, maybe?
You know, if I do anything, it would probably be like horseradish crust on it.
Yes,
yeah, that's
horseradish and steak. My God.
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Mhm.
Yep.
And then did
Wow,
you do? So
yeah.
we know you're doing chocolate cake and a bourbon, but what are your sides?
Cream spinach and sauteed mushrooms.
Mushrooms and steak again.
Yeah, good stuff.
That's
Maybe
a nice
we should let him plan all the meals. That sounds perfect.
And then get CPR on the way out. You know.
I don't know. No, there's no CPR. We're about to euthanize.
Well, that's
you.
right.
yeah.
I mean, electric
Oh,
chair.
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Right.
And the bourbon. Any specific bourbon?
Blanton's was my go-to.
Blends. Is it readily
Blanton.
available in Chicago? Because you can't get it out here.
Yeah, no, it's now everybody's hoarding it. It's like, $200 a bottle. You got to find somebody who's got it, and it's all jacked up.
5 years ago, it used to be 60 and it was on every shelf, and now it's
Yeah.
impossible.
You go on the Bourbon Trail, you can buy it. You can buy it for $60 on the Bourbon Trail.
Well, what did they do? They went out of business. Why is this? Do you guys know?
Because everyone figured out the bourbon was great, and now they're all buying it and hoarding it. Like a bunch
Buying
of
and hoarding it.
But they still make it. I'm saying, right? They
Oh
didn't-
yeah.
Okay. Because
Right.
usually, right, what happens is people figure things work and then they stop doing it.
No,
That's right.
Right?
The liquor stores are hoarding them too. I mean, the liquor stores we'll put one bottle out and sell for $200, and
Yeah.
then
Yikes.
another bottle out and say we don't have any. They have.
But
No, because I saw it at my
distributors-
store. I saw it at a liquor store one day, and it was like a couple $100, and I was thinking, I don't drink that much. But yeah, now it makes sense.
The
Sorry, what were you
distributors
gonna
do dickhead things too, where they'll be like, "We'll give you a case of Blanton's if you buy a bunch of their shitty vodka." So they're like tagging you on things, like a
Right.
rider in a congressional bill. All right, and then the other question: what are your top 5 movies?
Oh boy, that's a tough one because there's so many.
They don't have to be in order, though.
No,
No, I'm just gonna
Yeah,
start throwing them out there. Pulp Fiction, I gotta say I like that.
Great movie. Great movie.
I really like. Anybody watch? So Quentin Tarantino's got I like Quentin Tarantino movies.
I do too.
Glorious Bastards,
Great movie.
yeah, fun movie.
Brad Pitt was in that, which is Eric's favorite.
Brad Pitt.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm pretty gay for
Brad
Brad
guy,
Pitt.
yeah.
Only an interview with a vampire.
Yeah, he
That's
loves
the only
that
time.
movie.
I've
That's
been
a good movie.
Well, I'm less
You didn't
concerned
like
about
that?
the movie, but he was gorgeous in that movie. Like, objectively, 'cause he looks like a very attractive woman. He's a vampire.
Very nice.
That's funny. That's true. That's true, actually. So I said Inglorious Bastards. So there's like a theme here, right? So I like the military movies. One that was shocking. I can like just picture that beach scene coming into Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was
Unbelievable, right?
That was really tough.
My one critique of Saving Private Ryan is at the very end where he's like at the gravesite. He didn't have to talk. Like he was like sort of like, did I do a good job? We go, we know what you're thinking. Like we're not that
just pan out, dude. It's
just
over.
pan out.
Yeah.
Just show them there, sad, solemn, and pan out. You don't need the monologue. Nobody. I know
I think
Americans
they
are
were trying to make up the makeup artistry on making that old guy look like what's his face? The main actor.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
Or no, Matt Damon.
Tom Hanks,
Matt Damon.
Yeah, Matt Damon. Thank you. Yep. I think they wanted to show the makeup artistry there. So other movies, I'm trying to think of like a favorite of mine that's a little more on the quirky side, but I really liked girl movie. I'm gonna say this. Steel Magnolias. Anybody like that movie?
Oh, Steel
That's a great,
Magnolias.
yeah, great movie. Yeah,
Remember that one out there? Yeah.
What's that one? Bro?
that's my mom's favorite movie. That and
I know.
Fried Green Tomatoes is another classic for her. Yeah, well, that's a great movie.
Beaches.
That's a great movie.
Benjamin Button. Anybody ever see that one?
Benjamin
What is it?
Button.
Benjamin Button. Yes, another Brad Pitt. That's a great movie.
I can't escape Brad Pitt.
You know what I was thinking about the other day, right? Like they have the 6 degrees of separation, which we'll expand upon in our future episodes. But almost every movie that someone likes, there's Brad Pitt's in somehow because like he was in Burn After Reading, which is an incredible movie. He's hysterical in it.
Yes. Yep.
Right. And it's like everybody likes a movie he's been in. I don't think the guy's made any bad decisions except for Angelina.
Yeah, but even at the time, that made sense.
Right. Well,
Like if you're the biggest thing in the world and you have the opportunity to go from Jennifer Aniston when she's the biggest thing in the world to Angelina Jolie when she's the biggest thing in the world, I think you have to do that.
It's like a moral obligation. You just got to do it.
So, yeah, if you're like
you had to,
the hottest thing in Hollywood, you're obliged to bang the other hottest thing in Hollywood, and you got to do it twice, right?
This is a family show, guys.
This is the kind of content LinkedIn wants on their live feeds.
Yeah. Well, your first podcast with a guest is your last podcast with a guest.
Oh no, here's
First and last.
At this point, nobody watches, so we can do whatever the fuck we want. Once we have like 100 viewers, we have to tone it down. But now it's the Wild West.
Yeah. You know what's funny is when's LinkedIn going to sponsor us?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I was thinking about last night. I was
Ears are
saying,
poised. They're coming.
Yeah.
The offers are coming.
well, here's what I was thinking. Right. Last night I was laying in bed and I was thinking, LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft. Microsoft has made a huge investment into a small company called OpenAI. Perhaps you've heard of them. What if they discover us and they're like, you know what? These guys are almost as good as OpenAI.
Right. It's probably right around the corner.
Right. And that's what I was thinking. So we just got to tell Bill Gates, if anyone can get a hold of Bill or anybody, Steve Ballmer, any of those guys, really.
Mm-hmm.
Let them know we need Reid Hoffman and them to write checks.
What do you think?
There's a big opportunity here. Yeah, absolutely.
What do we start with Blanton's? What about Blanton's? And then we work our way up to corporate sponsorship from.
Wonder if there's anybody watching from Blanton's that could sponsor us. That should be our first mission, is to get our sponsor.
Yeah,
just get a Blanton's T-shirt, for your podcast, right? We need some sponsorship.
You know, we have to make a list of who has the most money, and then you know what? So it's like perhaps maybe just brainstorming here. Perhaps it's a PO that sponsors us.
Right? I like that.
Like ADP Total Source. We're trying to add. Right?
Dinsmore Steel.
Well, those guys are just that. That they got a lot going on.
Yeah, they're too big for us.
Yeah, those guys are much too big for us.
No, they're the best. They never outsource anything, which is nice.
No. They do everything by hand.
That's
right. Insourcing. That's right.
That's right. We insource it right into the Right into the house. Yes, that's right.
So, but to that point, I know a lot of PO brokers being the business that I'm in. I would say this: Dinsmore Steel has probably the best run brokerage that I've seen. The packages are clean to come in, all that kind of stuff. I mean, I get stuff from other PO brokers, and it is a headache getting everything that I need in order to get those quotes out. And Dinsmore's, it's tight. It's tight.
That's us.
Yeah. Do you ever see Wayne's World where they go through the corporate sponsors and they're like, it's Pepsi, and then that's what you just did. It was very smooth.
Yeah, that's the best.
Yeah, I'm being honest. I'm being honest. I mean, I am what I am. Yeah.
Wayne really.
Me and Matt are buddies. And I would say, I mean, we're the best PO broker. I mean, that's
right.
I'd say so. Yeah. You're gonna show up on your next podcast with you're gonna look like a NASCAR driver. You're gonna have jumpsuit on with patches of your sponsors.
This is another thing I don't understand. When people criticize people for selling out, that's the goal in life.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh my God, sell everything. Who gives a shit?
So I should wear a Microsoft shirt, and I actually have believe it or not, this is gonna be news, not to you three, but news to everyone else. I play pickleball. So I have a paddle behind me. Maybe the pickleball companies will come to town, right?
You just pulled that out from under your pillow, didn't you?
Yeah, or exactly saving my beats. Right, or just brainstorming here. Say Yeti. Oh. These things are all around. Or my Warby Parker. It really is the sky's the limit, guys.
Are those earbuds you're wearing?
They are. They're AirPods.
No.
I got to tell you guys something funny, right? Because I like to tell funny stories. So a couple of weeks ago, I'm reading something, right? It could have been Apple News, whatever, and it says that there was an article. I never saw it. It was an ad article, whatever, with Steve Jobs' daughter, and it was like she went through all these things that she couldn't live without. And she goes to the very end and she's like, iPhone. I just couldn't live without it. I couldn't imagine my life without it. And the best thing of it is, right, this is what blew me away. Do you know what his daughter's name is?
No.
Eve Jobs. That is ingenious.
You cannot make that up. You can't make that up. No.
Incredible. I mean, if that's true now, you can't trust the media, but if that's true, that's incredible. Eve Jobs. I mean, Steve, he was something.
No, he nailed it. The thing you can't live without reminds me of that thing we talked about the other day when you said the homeless people, the one thing they want is socks. We're like, I don't think that's the one.
Oh, yeah. Have you heard that, Matt? Have you heard that? There's a show, there's a company, I forget the company, but it gives away a free, every time you buy a pair. I don't think it's Tom's, right? But it's some company. Every time you buy a pair of socks, they give a pair of socks. Yeah, right. And I was just thinking, when you ask a homeless person, what do you want? I mean, I'm brainstorming here. Money, drugs, a house, a job, a car.
Right. I don't know.
Wine.
No. Socks.
Socks. That's right.
They're a pair of socks away from getting their shit together.
Get out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
You haven't eaten in 3 weeks. Where are the socks?
Yeah.
I mean,
your foot comfort is number one.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
my toes are cold. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't need any shoes. Get out of here. Foolishness.
Yeah. Right.
Who is running these polls?
Robin, do you have anything like that in the Philippines?
Like donating socks to homeless people?
No. You have to buy a pair. They're not donating them. We have to buy them. So you're basically paying for 2 pairs of socks, and they're going to give you one. I mean, that's really to break down the marketing.
You can't really donate your socks or your underwear. That's kind of two things that are kind of you just can't do, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Yeah. No, we don't. I don't think it's quite sad, but I don't think people here care so much about the homeless.
I bet there are homeless people. Is that accurate?
Yeah, pretty much everywhere. It's if you come to a third world country, you might get a culture shock.
Are you in third world? Are you?
Are you third world?
No, Philippines I think is still third world.
Oh, Jesus.
Now, here's the question I have, right? And I'm just asking, right? Because I always wondered this. Now's the time. Yes. There's first world, which is us, right? Bombas. That's them.
Thank
That's
you.
them. That's right.
This is how all my kids wear Bombas. I had no idea I was donating to.
Yeah.
That's why
Bombas, if you're listening, we know you need a PO, so reach out. Here's the thing. What is a second world country? Is that a thing, or is it first world and just third? Like, who's in second, or who is the second?
I'm not sure about that.
Why are we skipping?
I always wondered. See,
West
I asked the questions, the real stuff, guys.
Yeah.
That's the hard hitting stuff. I'm not sure.
If only there was some way to find out. I guess we'll never know.
Google maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Something new.
Yeah, what is this?
Here's a quick question: has anyone used Bard, which is Google's answer to OpenAI? Well, if you go on Twitter these days, right? Every time you open up, it says it's either OpenAI is dead, right, or it's either Bard is dead.
Yeah,
they both can't be dead.
Well, content's been dead, and then content's been king, and SEO has been dead, and SEO has really mattered. Same thing with peeps. Robin and I were talking about this. It's like LinkedIn news feeds just contradicts themselves every couple of weeks because you need stories. We need an endless amount of content. So you have to say shit that's. How could ChatGPT be dead? It's like 2 months old.
Well, they keep saying these are dead, or the best is when you go on there and they're like, retweet this and meet the, I would do something, message me, whatever, and it's like, and I'll send you a link with all the AI prompts. You mean the prompts that ChatGPT wrote? Got it. I mean, what's going on here, guys?
I think a big part of this Hollywood writers' strike too is that they fear that AI is going to take over. But like TV sucks now. It can't be better once the robots start writing it, can it? Or maybe can it?
Well, here's the bigger question, right? All they do is keep remaking the same shows. Did you know that I was watching I think it was Prime the other day, and they've made a White Man Can't Jump. I mean, could it get any better than Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson?
I don't
think it could be. And then remember there was Top Gun. I guarantee you, right, that once Tom Cruise decides to do his 50th or 60th, you know what they should do with Tom Cruise is do a Mission Impossible meets Fast and the Furious. Because it would be like episode 26.
Yeah, that's right. They're starting to merge anyway, right? So that
would make sense,
right? Yeah. Converging lines.
But it's every time I turn around, they're remaking an old show. Like they brought back Gossip Girl, right, with a whole new cast.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, I haven't watched it, but I remember my wife was talking about it.
You're on the cutting edge of the Gossip Girl.
I am the cutting edge.
That's right.
Miss me? But yeah, it's just very bizarre how they keep remaking the same shows over and over.
There has to be new ideas, I would imagine.
We have a ton of them.
Yeah.
I was always amazed that people have writers.
Stuff is generated off of here. I mean, there's new ideas all over the place that are coming out of here.
Yeah, this
episode. So no, I think after they retreaded all the Marvel stuff and they've kind of converted all that, I think that Hollywood's out of material. I think there's an opportunity.
Yeah. Well, I always thought it would make sense to just do a bunch of biographies, right? Like do one of like Rockefeller, do one of like I don't know. I'm sure we can find Carnegie, right? Who else is there? Is there anybody else famous we can think of? Oppenheimer, they just did.
They've already started doing like AI created content, right? Like books that are made completely by AI. That's a thing, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. No, I mean they're
I've heard that some of our competitors use ChatGPT for their blogs, but I can't say yes or no. I can't confirm or deny.
You're right about that Rockefeller thing. There's no Charles Darwin bio. Shouldn't there be like these seminal figures in history?
Have you ever seen Rockefeller's? Have you ever listened to his autobiography? It's like 60 hours long. I started listening to it on Audible, and I was like, "This is a job. I don't even know what they're talking about."
That guy did a lot of shit. What about the Roosevelts? Can't they get a movie?
That's true.
You'd think so.
Right. You know, I thought about a really good one.
There, right?
That would be an amazing movie. Would be JFK, because everybody seemed to like him. No, I'm serious. No, I'm not about the shooting. I'm talking about like his autobiography. Because every movie they make's about the shooting, right? And it's like, no, honestly, I don't think anybody knows what happened.
No, all right. That's don't spoil the movie for anybody.
Yeah,
I won't spoil
it. Wasn't his grandfather a bootlegger? Is that how he made his money?
Yeah, and then his father outlawed
the election. Yeah, what about his grandfather could have carried a movie, I think.
Yeah.
I think any of those people could. It really is the sky's the limit as far as doing autobiographies.
And if they lull in the middle, just bring an Iron Man. Like that's a solution for most.
Robert Downey Jr. shows up and shows them how to party.
Right, shoot some lasers and then continue on with the.
You know what's funny about Robert Downey Jr. I like Robert Downey Jr. is that I remember there for a spell. I remember thinking that Less Than Zero had become an autobiography of him.
Yeah, that was art imitating life.
Art imitating. Yeah.
Yep, exactly right. He fell in the bucket there for a while. Yep.
Yeah, didn't he get so drunk he woke up in like some kid's bed?
He was coming into some kid's bedroom.
Charlie Sheen, right? The two, like I have one speed is full go.
Yeah.
Right. No matter what I do. Right.
Charlie Sheen is my favorite celebrity because he does everything right. He blows his money. He does a bunch of drugs. He sleeps and marries strippers, divorces them. The man managed to get AIDS in like 2015. Like that's very difficult to do now. It's gone.
Yeah. Right.
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 Is a big question. How is he still alive?
That's it. He's got.
You know what? I have a theory on this. I'll just tell you really quick. Is that it's money. Money.
Yeah. He sits there and gets blood transfusions constantly, so he's like they prop him up.
I think Brad
Tiger
Pitt
blood.
is a sexy version of everybody we just talked about. So sexy Rockefeller,
Yep.
sexy Charles Darwin.
You know what would be even better is if he played them all in the same movie.
Yeah, there you go.
Which might have made as much sense as that movie Babylon.
Truth.
Yeah,
He's
what
the
it was terrible.
age, Brad Pitt.
He
Well,
does.
listen, it's 11 o'clock, so I think LinkedIn Live's going to kick us off. But it was a good episode.
It was a good episode. Thank you for joining us, Matt.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right,
Good to
tune in
meet you, Robin and Eric. Appreciate it.
You too.
Mike,
All right,
All right,
fellas.
guys.
Bye,
Take it
guys.
easy.